Hi, this is Miss Wright, and welcome to my very brief presentation on the If I Profane speech given by Romeo and Juliet at the end or near the end of Act 1. I want to take a moment to shout out to all my students in the ninth grade, and I also want to make sure I say hi to Miles and Milo, Tyler, Alamat, Sydney, Annabelle, and all the rest of my subscribers. Thank you for supporting my little YouTube videos. Okay, so we are off. The speech is a conceit, and a conceit has a premise. The premise here is that Romeo is a pilgrim on a religious journey, and he has come upon a saint, the saint for whom he has been searching. And in this, the saint wouldn't have been a living person, it might have been a statue of a famous holy person. And he would have traveled hundreds or thousands of miles to be in the presence of this statue and worship at the foot of this statue. Juliet is that saint. So that's the background knowledge that you need for this speech. Now, a conceit is a type of extended metaphor, and it's imaginative, poetic image or comparison that is extreme or far-fetched and often romantic. Not always, but often. Romeo is a pilgrim. A pilgrim is someone who goes on a journey to a holy place for religious reasons. And a palmer is a type of pilgrim, especially a medieval Christian who carried or wore palms, think of Palm Sunday, palm leaves as proof of a visit to the Holy Land. So that's the background information that you need. A saint is a member of a religion who, after death, is formally designated as having led a life of exceptional holiness, or a statue of such a person. In this case, he's talking about a statue. And the sonnet, which we have studied already, is a short 14-line poem, usually 10 syllables. It rhymes. It's divided into quatrains and a couplet, and it's usually written in iambic pentameter. You'd have to see my separate videos for sonnets. Okay, so we begin with Romeo seeing Juliet. He goes up to her and he touches her hand out of the blue. This is completely inappropriate to go up to a stranger, even today, and just take her hand. So he says, "If I profane with my unworthiest hand a holy shrine, the gentle fine is this, my lips two blushing pilgrims ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss." Okay, so a man that you don't know comes up to you, takes your hand, says he's not really worthy to touch your hand. And so if you are offended, he will smooth out the roughness of his touch by kissing your hand. That is what's going on here. And you can see the image. He says, if I profane. Profane is when you treat something sacred with disrespect. He uses the language of holy shrine. The holy shrine is Juliet. It's a metaphor for Juliet. And he says, my lips two blushing pilgrims. His lips are the pilgrims that ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss. So you can see that Shakespeare from the very beginning is already working within the conceit of someone who might be a sinner, who has trespassed against a holy shrine, who wants to make amends. He's a pilgrim who wants to make amends by kissing the hand of the saint. Juliet responds immediately. She doesn't hesitate to pick up on the imagery, and she says, "Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, For mannerly devotion shows in this, for saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss. So she recognizes him as the pilgrim, and she says, "Oh no, you're going too far. It wasn't that bad." Which mannerly devotion shows in this, for saints have hands, statues have hands that pilgrims' hands touch. The pilgrims reach out and might kiss the hand of the statue of the saint. And then when she says, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss, think of putting your hands together in prayer. That's palm to palm. And holy palmer's kiss, Romeo, here it says, have not saints lips and holy palmers too? So Romeo is trying to push the subject along. Have not saints lips and holy palmers too? He wants to have a different kind of kiss. Juliet says, I, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer. She picks up on where he's going, but she's not going there as fast. Oh, then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. If hands can come together in prayer, then why can't lips come together? They pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair. So he wants this kiss, unless if he doesn't get it, he'll become truly depressed. Juliet says, saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake. So a statue cannot move except to answer a prayer. Romeo responds, then move not, stand still, while my prayer's effect I take. Thus from my lips, by yours, my sin is purged. So if you allow me to kiss you, my sin, my offense will be washed away. Juliet responds, then have my lips the sin that they have took. She says, go ahead, you can kiss me. The sin from thy lips, O trespass sweetly urge, give me my sin again. He wants another kiss. Juliet responds by saying, you kiss by the book, meaning you kiss pretty good, like you've written a book about kissing or read a book about kissing. You seem to know what you're doing. Okay, so if we go back, you can see also the sonnet forming with a hand, stand, this, kiss, first quatrain, much, touch, this, kiss, second quatrain, and you'll notice that Juliet uses the same rhymes in her part of the sonnet that Romeo did in his part. Two of those rhymes are exactly the same. Then you have to and do, prayer and despair for the last quatrain, and this is where the sonnet ends with sake and take. Okay, so I hope this helps you with the If I Profane speech. It's a beautiful speech, and you should notice that Shakespeare is intertwining their language to show us how perfectly they fit together, how much they are made for each other. Okay, so have a great day. Talk to you next time.